Do I make you horny, baby? That wasn't it.
No,
was it?
Bill Clinton.
Do I make you horny, baby? That is kind of Bill Clinton.
Boys Podcast episode 36.
36.
The day after Christmas.
Right there.
Starting it off good there. Thanks, Josh. Day after Christmas. Here with some friends, some old friends.
Oldies but goodies. Both previous guests.
Yeah, this episode
Combined.
will drop the day before New Year's Eve, December 30th. But today is the 26th, and that's all I really have. I don't have much to say. I don't know. This is kind of last minute, getting everybody together, getting the old band back together. So
I missed the last two. I'm usually up to date on yours, but I missed the last two. So is everybody Christmased out by now? Don't mention Christmas.
No, we can mention Christmas.
We hardly mentioned Christmas. We gave it a little.
We spoke with Jake about Christmas a little
bit about Christmas,
but it wasn't much. And my phone's already ringing. Let's see who this is. Hold on.
Could you hear me this?
Hello?
Hi, this is Allison from the warranty department. Can you hear me okay?
No?
Okay, great. I called
This
to
is
offer.
Allison from the warranty department. The reason I'm calling you is to remind you that we sent you a final warranty notice in the mail letting you know that the warranty has expired.
All right, back to the show.
Well,
That was
it wasn't a
fucking
good
interesting.
one.
So good. I was hoping it was, like last time. That fellow would call. Anyways, yeah, boys, episode 36, boyspodcast.com. God damn. Fucking boyspodcast at AOL.com.
Wait, is that real?
Yes.
Don't you listen to this?
I've only
you
listened
were
to
on it.
I listened to two ever. The one that he was on, the one that I was on.
God, you selfish prick.
It was
Seriously.
I
episode
have a
1
lot
when
of-
Josh dropped, I'm going to get an AIM,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
Yep,
did.
first up.
We have one, but no one uses it.
It didn't go well.
Yeah.
We thought it'd be a cool thing to do, but it wasn't at all. It was a failed
If
experiment.
they even made it easier for your Facebook chat to interface with AIM, maybe people will do it, but nobody's going to go download AIM.
no
No.
one's on there. No one
There's
is on
literally
there.
no one on there.
Literally not a single
It's
soul.
a ghost town on AIM.
So we're here today with our good friends, our good old friends. Matt Street, Colin Butler, in the new studio, newish. You guys haven't been here yet. What do you think?
So
like
you
it?
can identify me real quick. I'm Matt Street. I have the cold.
Colin Butler, perfectly healthy.
I haven't been here.
Are you sick?
I'm getting over it.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll probably be totally feeling 100%.
So you were bad. What was that, like Christmas Day, Eve, the day before?
It's going on for about a week now. And it peaked right in the middle of that week. So wherever that puts me, a couple of days before Christmas.
It's a really good time to be sick.
It's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But it doesn't.
Actually, it's not bad because the world slows down and you don't feel obligations that you normally would feel,
Yeah, but when you got to do family stuff and you're feeling shitty, like,
But-
I don't know about you, but that's not good to me.
Isn't the classic sick thing to do like just veg out and play a video game?
Oh yeah, or like watch just terrible movies, or
True.
binge a TV series or something.
And that coincides with you also do that over a holiday break. So
True.
And
Worked out.
Colin's here from Austin, drove up to see the fam.
No, he drove up for this, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
family was saying,
I'm leaving right after this, so no.
oh, shit. Okay. Well, about 3 hours you'll be hitting the road. This will be a nice long
we've all
one.
lived together.
Yeah.
I realized that on the drive
That's
over.
true.
Oh, shit.
Did you,
Yeah,
Did you think about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at different times.
Well, yeah. It was my first place I ever lived outside of my family house.
Yeah, me
We
too.
graduated and moved into the Crosswinds Cove, or Crosswinds,
Crosswinds.
Crosswinds. Yeah.
Something.
It was a nice place. I remember there was this like trashy neighbors that you guys had that was like across the balcony, and they had like a trashy daughter.
I think he did tattoos in his living room.
Really?
I think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Roll with the daughter.
I just remember Josh and I kind of like having a crush on this like kind of trashy daughter that they had. And we were all young men back then.
A lot of that time I do
Do you not
recall.
remember this? I think I've asked
I
you.
don't,
We
you have,
dared
but
you
I
to go talk to her.
I don't remember. Were we sitting on the
remember
balcony
that.
drinking a beer or something? Or
She would like paint her toenails out on the balcony.
okay, that's starting to
And
refresh
our
memories.
picture, what do they call it? Picture window? Like the big living room window would face her balcony. And and we were like 20. We were all 20.
Yeah.
And we dared you to go talk to that girl.
Did he?
He went over there. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Next, like, it was a kind of a wraparound walk, but you walked out the door and me and Colin were like, he's not going to do it. And then 30 seconds later, you popped up on the balcony.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what you said.
I don't know what I said either. Apparently it didn't go well because I don't remember it. Boo.
Anyways, so yeah, Josh and I have never lived together.
That's true.
Josh and I haven't. I guess we've all lived together by proxy, but Josh and I have never shared a dwelling space. Yet. One of these days.
That's what's kept us alive for so long, I think.
You
I
could
think so.
You could share this space if you wanted to.
I thought about it. You could live in here.
Throw a crash here.
If you weren't both married men, then yeah.
Like if you didn't want to drive
Yeah.
and you were down here?
Yeah.
No, Robbie.
Oh, dude, I never even thought about that.
What's that?
Which, speaking of, I want to say thanks to Patrick at the Lost Ogle for allowing us to use this wonderful space here at the Paramount building.
It's a nice place.
I had never thought about the fact that we could use this as a crash pad if we ever
That's
didn't
what I'm
want to
saying.
drive
like,
home.
Well, that or divorced dads. Like,
I'll roll the spool in.
yeah.
And we'll hang up some Christmas lights. And yeah, this could maybe
Hungry
like
man
a
and a hot plate in a microwave in the corner.
totally.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a bathroom.
There's a
There's a
bathroom.
sink.
You wash in the sink
I
like
wonder
a
if
hobo.
there's a shower in this building. That's all
Oh,
we
I
need.
guarantee one of these offices have
Divorced
a shower.
dad's sink's fine enough.
Yeah, just the horse bath.
Yeah. Or wet rag.
Horse bath?
Are you
Horse bath.
a horse bath?
Oh, okay.
No,
A horse bath?
are you not familiar with horse bath?
No.
The term? Are you? Like when you? I guess.
I'd just call that a homeless shower.
Yeah. I called it a horse bath. Like you would just wipe your horse down with a wet rag.
No.
You never wiped your horse down with a wet rag?
I never had a horse.
Well, then you ain't Oklahoman. All right. Speaking of, man, I'm totally losing my train of thought here. How was your fucking Christmas?
What your brain?
How was your goddamn Christmas?
It was fine.
Everybody?
It was good. It was
Yeah,
Just chill.
I don't celebrate. I mean, I celebrate by putting shit up, but I don't really do a whole lot. But it was nice. It was pretty chill, relaxing.
Matt? How was yours?
I was going to let everybody else go because mine's depressing.
Why's that?
So my Christmases are always weird. My family's my mom and my grandma, who's just now crazy as of like a few months ago. And she's in a home now. And
Did you have to go to the home?
no, she came out. They let her out of the asylum.
Took the chain off her neck and rattled her cage a little bit.
This year, my uncle joined us this year. So that grandma's son, and he's fresh out of prison after 12 years now.
Dang. Like in the can for 12 years?
Yeah. Not like on Oz or something. And so like a medium security prison, I guess.
Not maximum security, fuck me in the ass prison.
I don't know if they
Federal
rape.
pound me in the ass.
Whatever it is. It's my take on it.
They might do that in any, like even the county jail. I don't know. You might get pounded anywhere you go behind bars.
Well, yeah.
If I was in that situation, like if I was in jail for 12 years, let me take that back. If I had an uncle that was in jail for 12 years and he was at my family Christmas, I would be like watching him to see how he reacts to everything. Because I could just imagine him like eating turkey, just being like, oh.
No, but you
probably
don't
eats
want to
it
make
quick.
them.
Or does he eat his Christmas dinner really fast?
Yeah.
Doesn't share.
Well, because no one.
He punches somebody in the face right off the bat.
He kills your crazy grandmother.
I'm not gonna be anybody's bitch.
Establish dominance.
I think it would just be weird getting out and seeing like iPhones and finding
Oh,
out
yeah.
that Donald Trump is the president.
All of that happened.
Yeah.
Well, so he's been out for 4 months. So he was out when the Donald Trump thing happened, and not that politics is much different at all. That's probably the most steady thing. If you've been in for 12 years, but the phone thing,
Technology,
the last
yeah.
phone he remembered probably wasn't even the Razor, right? 12 years ago.
When did the first iPhone come out? Was it 10? Has it been 10 years?
2005, I think was the first
Yeah,
one.
like 5 maybe.
05?
Okay, so a little over 10 years,
Yeah.
12 years since the first iPhone. Yeah, man.
So I feel safe also talking about it because he doesn't know what podcasts are.
I feel that all the time.
That's gotta be weird.
Some of the shit we talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Like my dad will be like, "You still doing that radio show?" And I'm like, yeah, Dad. I know he's never going to listen to it. Thank God. He's nodded to it a couple times like, hey, can you listen to those on your phone? And I'm like, yeah, but it's really better if you listen to it on a computer.
Does he think it comes on in cars? He doesn't think that, right?
I think he thinks it's on the computer.
Yeah.
I think he thinks it's on the internet, which it is.
He's
but
right.
Yeah, you can
Technically he's right.
you can listen to those on your phone, but he doesn't know that. And I feel like I'm just like skating by a lot.
You can also sit on your iPod, hence the name podcast. But who the fuck has an iPod?
Me? I listened to mine today.
Rebating him.
No.
He's done the spiel on the podcast before.
What spiel?
That you still have your original iPod or
You
whatever.
still have an iPod.
I do. I have 120
with the dialing, the clicking.
the click wheel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those were the best ones.
I was just
I've seen that
singing
earlier.
the praises of that iPod to Colin when we were in the car. I was like, man, I love having an iPod still because it saves your phone battery.
Sure.
When you're getting in and out of your car, let's say you're doing some Christmas shopping, some running around, some errands, it's so much quicker just to hit play on that, in your like little cubby hole in
You
your
have to
dashboard.
pull your phone out, sync all that shit up, and do all that.
If you get a phone call, you can take the call, still have your music playing.
I can do that with
You
my
just
phone.
can't stream on it.
Not using that precious data.
True. And there's just something about, I don't know, I still like to put things on the iPod and like have a little collection of music that's like,
Take the old stuff out, but
Do you do that with podcasts, though? Do you put podcasts on your regular iPod?
I put radio shows, like I went back, I found a source that had like a bunch of old Howard Stern, like every old Howard Stern episode in this huge like zip archive. And I would just put like a month at a time on there. And then when I'd run out of that month, I'd put a new month on.
That's the pain in the ass that doesn't make up for every time you get in your car, you've got to go to your app and search for the thing you want to hear.
Right.
It's just there. You don't have to preload it.
True. I'm
not going to sit here and argue with you the virtues of streaming music services over your old iPod.
You can't stream on an iPod, Matt. I'm here to school you on this, man. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know. There's something about it. The battery lasts way longer. Battery in my iPod lasts a month before I have to charge it. I don't use it that often, but
My car doesn't have a cigarette lighter in it.
I remember your iPod that you had back in the day when the three of us.
It wasn't even
together.
an iPod, was it?
It was a pimp box. Yeah, it was a creative Zune. It was no lower on the rungs than that.
But it was it was right after the first generation real iPod.
Yeah.
So it was a decent clone or competitor.
But it's really called a pimp box?
It was this. It was.
We called it a juice box, then it turned into the pimp box.
Okay.
It was the size of a fucking VCR. First of all, it was huge, and it had a tiny screen.
It was like that blue screen with like the dark blue
I
text.
still have it. And
Does it still work?
it still boots up. I can still
Can you put podcasts on it?
Yeah. No. It doesn't recognize those.
Spotify?
Yes, you can do that. No, but it's still, you have to download the old app, which you can only find on some guy's FTP from a link on a dead message board.
Did you go through all this? Did you try to resurrect
Yeah, because
it?
I had old songs of mine that I needed to get off of it, but yeah, it's still.
Oh, so you have to download like a special app to even interface with it at all.
Yeah,
Pimp tunes?
I forget what. Yeah.
I pimp. say it's pimp. But you got one of those, and I got jealous of you having that, and I wanted one so bad. So I got on eBay and I found one like later, and it was awesome, man. There was something about it. I don't know. I love technology, but there's always something to me about getting something that's like not the normal, even if it's shittier. And like it's like growing up. I didn't have the starter jacket
Right.
for so many years. I had
Apex.
the Logo Athletic.
Oh, you were Apex, right?
Yeah.
I had
Logo's below Apex.
Oh yeah, it's
If you're going to rank them, yeah.
it's way down.
Logo 7, right? Is that
It's the pimp box of starter
It's a pimp
jackets. It's way down there. But yeah, I had a Dallas Cowboys one, and there was that style in the late 90s where everything had like shark tooth kind of like
stripes.
stripes,
Yeah.
but they were like sharp, like zigzag colors. And I had one, and it was like a double XL. It was way too big for me, but man, I pimped that
I wish I still
shit.
had my starter jacket.
God, they're cool now. You
Yeah,
see those
you
like
can find 'em.
online? They're
Yeah.
super expensive.
Well, MLB, I know I haven't checked any other ones, but MLB has starter jackets. The MLB.com.
Are they unchanged?
They're the exact same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to find one. I'm trying to find something for Chris
I might
Van
still
Dine.
have mine at my parents' house. I need to look.
What team was it?
St. Louis Blues.
That's a cool one. Did you ever have a starter jacket?
It wasn't either of those lower tier brands that we said. I can't remember what it was, but it was a Chiefs. Yeah.
I was a Chiefsman myself.
I had a Bulls one, Bulls pullover, and it was a size too small.
Oh, that might be worse than a size too big.
I was a chubby kid, and I put it on. I mean, it fit, but it wasn't like baggy like it was supposed to be. It fit. It was weird.
It was like a windbreaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I had it now, it'd be something you could totally see like a Brooklyn hipster wearing like a one size too small starter jacket with like super skinny jeans.
I'm imagining it fit like a wrestling singlet or something. It was just like way too small.
No, that was my starter jacket.
Man, I remember being so jealous of my friend's starter jackets that I would ask my friend Russell if I could wear his, and he'd like let me wear his jacket, which was kind of weird.
Can I guess the team?
Go for it.
I want to guess after you.
Miami Hurricanes.
No.
That was going to be my guess. I'll say San Jose Sharks.
No.
Raiders.
No.
Charlotte Hornets.
No. Any other guesses?
Hurricanes again.
No.
Okay, hold on. Which sport?
Let's see. Football.
College or professional?
Pro.
Ooh.
You already said Cowboys. That's
You got
not
it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Go ahead.
49ers?
That
Nope.
was my guess.
You go to like all like the trashy 90s teams.
Giants.
Nope.
Damn.
Run out of teams. Only about 13 of them left.
The Browns? Cleveland Browns?
Oh, dude, you get beat up winning that.
No, it was also the Chiefs.
That's
Yeah. And again, I wanted to be like my friend. So I got a Chiefs jacket, and there were like 4 or 5 of us at Choctaw Junior High that all had matching Kansas City Chiefs starter jackets. And I felt like we were like a gang, but like the dorkiest, pussiest, whitest little gang of virgins ever, you know?
I bet those starter jackets smelled like fucking Durals or
BO and cum.
ugh.
Yeah.
They
Hey, Dad.
Gross.
sports talk here.
Yeah.
I think those started
Sports jacket talk.
No, I'm going sports here. And still jackets a little bit. But didn't those originate because the coaches wore those? I think they made those big things for the coaches.
Because it's cold out
Yeah,
there.
it's cold
Right.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they got their big oversized headsets on.
Mhm.
You got your
The basketball coaches that branched out to them.
You got your
'cause it was
kangaroo
cold
pocket
in
and you
there.
got your flip
Then
top
you have
pocket.
the Velcro, the flip pocket.
And you had your zipper
Yeah.
at the top that revealed the starter logo
Yeah.
behind it,
That's smart.
in case you need a little airflow out
But you
of
have
the
to keep
neck.
that unzipped so you can see the logo.
Of course.
Exactly. Who
Yeah,
zips
what
that
nerd?
Right.
What
Zip
nerd
it
up
up.
all the way. Put the hoodie up.
And it's got to be a pullover starter jacket. The zip up ones, get the fuck out of here.
No, it had to be the original. They made 2 starter jackets back then. The original, and then they made one called the Rocket. And it was kind of more like futuristic looking. It was still a half zip kangaroo pouch up front, but it was more like the lines on it were like angled. It was more angular and like kind of futuristic looking. And if you had that, you were a fucking
You could
nerd.
tell. Oh, well, could you tell?
No, you had to have the original. You had to have the original.
Was that the rich kid option?
I think it might have been more
The rich kid
expensive,
option.
but maybe, yeah.
When you go to Dillard's for your starter jacket, can I get the rich kid option,
Yeah.
please?
Mhm.
The regular and then the primo. But it wasn't you had to have that same one. That was the whole point. Right?
I don't know. I never had a real starter jacket.
Ever?
I was on the outside.
You never did.
It was probably Apex, I think.
But going back, if we're still doing jacket talk here, like when I was a little younger than that, man, like I wanted one of the classic like coaches jackets, like the
Yeah.
baseball jackets.
Mhm.
My dad had an OU one that was, crimson and cream, and had the OU logo on the front. And then had it was emblazoned in the back with a huge embroidered OU logo. And I thought it was so cool.
Beautiful.
A little too big for me. But man, if I would have saw that like at a thrift store nowadays, it would be mine. And I don't even like OU anymore. But man, it would be mine. Favorite jacket?
Of all time?
Yeah.
An Eisenhower jacket.
What is that?
The blue, it's like a work jacket, but doesn't have puffy liner inside.
Like a mailman jacket?
Yeah, but like a thinner,
Like
or a chino coach's jacket.
I was gonna say
This-
the Dickies jackets. Remember those?
Yes,
Yeah,
Dickies
I
work
still have
jackets.
mine. I still have my old Dickies
It was hard to
jacket.
find one that wasn't fucking fit weird. Like the pits were super baggy.
That's how mine is. It looks like a starfish when you put your arms out. Like it's cut terribly. I'm like,
Yeah.
when was that cool?
Well, it was.
You wanna know mine?
Favorite jacket? Yeah, let's go around the room here.
The Dennis Leary.
The leather?
Don't touch it.
Don't touch the leather.
Don't touch the leather.
Do you have it with you?
No, man. I only break that out on special occasions. Not for you
Yeah,
fools.
it's December 26th and it's 70 degrees outside. You don't really need a fucking leather jacket.
I put it up. I treated it. I put it up for later.
You treat it?
I did. I wipe it down.
Does it have its own little like bag that you put it in?
It's got a leather bag you put it in. The leather, all leather.
Leather.
I bury it in the backyard. Favorite jacket
I'm going to go starter jacket.
of all time?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the jacket that I've like bonded with the
Right,
most.
yeah.
I wore that thing.
I don't think I would ever wear one now, but
You know what's synonymous with starter jackets in my memory, in my nostalgia though? Cigarette burns. Because my friend Clint had one.
That's trashy.
I know. Totally. The time that I got my first starter jacket was right around the time that you would start experimenting with like stealing one of your friend's dad's cigarettes, or an older brother would give you a cigarette and you'd have that cigarette and you would like covet that one cigarette, and you wait till your friend's parents went to sleep and you'd go out and share the cigarette. Like I'm always picturing just like in a cold December night under like a street light at the end of your street, and you'd be blowing the smoke out and it would be cold, so it would look like you were taking like huge drags, but you were probably like
Gallagher.
yeah thank you, you were Gallaghering, which is the act of inhaling the smoke just into your mouth and blowing it out
directly out.
Do you think kids find their parents' vapes now?
and Gallagher them.
They take them out at midnight.
They take the vape out. The parents getting pissed, but the battery's dead.
No, they charge the battery. It's kind of like a modern day Ferris Bueller. Like they charge the battery up to 74% and top off the juice before they put it back.
They charged it too much though, and they have to reverse.
And they have
try
to just
find
vape
a way
it.
to reverse
They have
charge
to
it.
vape it hard.
Oh yeah, that
You're
would
talking
be
about
reverse charge.
you're talking like Ferris Bueller kind of a thing. Gotta turn the.
Yeah. But yeah, cigarette burns. So like I'd get that new starter jacket and we'd be like in a friend's older brother's car and we'd have that like ceremonial
Probably
snipe.
a Camaro.
It was like a Monte Carlo a lot of the time. Yeah.
With the sagging headliner.
Or a Cutlass.
Yeah, an Oldsmobile Cutlass for sure. A friend of mine had a brown Cutlass. But yeah, we would, share that ceremonial cigarette. And then of course I would like burn a fucking huge cigarette burn hole, like right in the sleeve, like where you couldn't hide it. This wasn't on the back. This wasn't underneath, right on the sleeve. And then I'm like, how do I explain that to my grandma who bought me this jacket?
There's a fire pit. An ember fell off and hit your arm.
I was not that smart.
I've done that one. I've used that one before. That's also why it smells like smoke.
That's good.
We were at a youth fire pit. Fire pit? What? I don't know. Bonfire. That's the word.
Yeah.
And they used cigarettes as kindling to start the fire.
Well, we
cartons.
were burning cigarettes to bring kids closer to Christ.
How does that work?
The kids who smoke, like bring your cigarettes, throw them, and you're giving it
It's
up
like
to God.
burning Marilyn Manson CDs.
Exactly. You're gonna go buy them so he gets money, and then you're gonna throw them in a fire.
We never did that, but we smoked we smoked cigarettes that we found. Our friend Nick and I would go. My sister played baseball or softball, and we'd go to the softball fields and had an Altoids tin, and we would walk around collecting snipes off the ground. And we had this code word. It wasn't really much of a code, but we'd be like, "Is that Altoid box worthy?" Because we'd find so many of them, we had to like pare down the shitters. And then we'd fill our Altoid boxes with cigarettes, and like some of them had like lipstick stains, like on the Capris or Virginia Slims or whatever.
So it's kind of like a grab bag. You would never know what you're going to get.
No, you just have a bunch of like half smoked cigarettes, because the thing was you couldn't smoke at the softball fields. It was like a big complex. You couldn't smoke, so if you went up to like the entrance, there were ashtrays on both sides, and people would have like lit a cigarette in their car and then walk up and be like, "Oh shit," and they'd put it out.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Probably like a movie theater. You're late to your movie, got to throw it out.
Yeah. It was prime harvesting.
Mall.
Man.
Outside of a mall.
Yeah. Same diff. You ever pulled a cigarette out of an ashtray?
No, because you could smoke in the mall, right?
Well, there was a time,
did.
like back in like probably the mid to late 90s, they stopped doing that. So, I mean, if you were a kid in the mid to late 90s, I mean, Crossroads had those ashtrays fucking every 3 feet there was an ashtray.
I distinctly remember people smoking in Crossroads Mall when I was a kid.
In the mall?
Yeah. Like walking through the mall.
I guess I don't remember that.
When you're upstairs, there's actually one right across from the Fredericks of Hollywood. It's like it has like a Franklin's.
It's Franklin's of Hollywood.
Anywho, there'd be like a flower bed thing that dips down to like a bench, and that's where you can smoke. And there's two fucking
It's a mini conversation pit.
yeah, where you can just smoke and talk about the wife or the kids or the whatever.
I love when I smoke. I got to talk about the wife. I don't know why.
That seems like it would have been an ad for Winston or something.
Yeah,
Talking about the wife.
yeah. I was gonna say puff up a Winston and talk about the wife.
Puff up.
Sounds like a hip. I like puff up the Winston. Talk about the wife.
Yeah, I remember people smoking, walking through the mall, and yeah, there would be like these weird like triangular ashtrays with holes in the top, and you would drop your cigarette in there, and then some little kid would scurry up in his starter jacket and harvest.
Oh yeah,
save for later. Yeah, my friend's dad smoked Doral 100s, and he was a heavy smoker. I mean, had a cigarette in his hand from sunup to sundown. And maybe even after that sometimes. And we would steal like packs at a time. And oh man, it was so cool. Like to have like a handful of cigarettes. And that's what you would do because
a handful of cigarettes.
Well, yeah, one of you would have the pack and then like I would like take a few and like put them in the kangaroo pouch in the front of my starter jacket.
And you bundle them together like twigs.
Kind of, yeah.
Like a faggot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was trying...
like a bundle of sticks.
I could not say it because it's a bundle of twigs that you just said, and it's also a cigarette. I couldn't pass up saying faggot, right?
Do British
people... Double whammy.
They don't say faggot, they say fag.
No, wait. I think the six is the...
A bundle of sticks is...
That's true, I guess the bundle.
The bundle of sticks has been known as a
You see
faggot.
where I was going is my point, right?
Yeah. I do, but I saw that you couldn't pass it up. It's correct.
But British people don't go... Let's go outside and have a faggot.
Is that an Austin Powers? Like a sexy Austin Powers?
What that was. I'm British all the time. I don't know. But hey, baby, let's go outside. And
You're doing a Madonna Vogue chicken head move.
I was doing kind of a Keith Richards, like, hey, baby, let's go puff a faggot out in the loft.
That's not Keith Richards. That's the singer.
No.
It's not Keith Richards at all.
And I said singer. I can't think of the singer for Rolling Stones. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Mark Jagger.
Mark Jagger.
They say,
baby,
they don't say
I'm Mark Jagger. Do I make you horny?
Do I make you horny, baby? I'm Mark Jagger. Have a faggot, huh?
That's not a thing.
Oh, wow. It is now. Oh, man.
Aidez-moi.
Did you ever have that friend though? Like the friend that smoked?
Oh, yeah.
And even to this day, I've never been like a heavy smoker. I've always been like a social, I'll have one of those.
Yeah.
But growing up, man, like I hung out with a lot of bad kids and they smoked. Boy, did they smoke.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Russell, growing up, you guys know him. Like that dude, his mom bought him cigarettes. It was so weird. He was like 15, 16. She smoked and she would buy him cartons of cigarettes. He had cigarettes at 15.
I remember that you could buy individual cigarettes from kids.
Yep.
At school for like, I don't know, $1 or something.
Well, they used to sell individual cigarettes at gas stations. Like, Oops, I Forgot would sell Lucy's, which is technically illegal.
Yeah, you can't do that no
more.
more.
From the shop. I thought you meant dudes
No.
hanging out
No,
outside the shop.
kids at school would sell cigarettes.
Yeah, they'll sell you a leaf of marijuana and a cigarette.
Yeah.
A leaf?
Remember the story? I bought a leaf of marijuana.
You guys want to smoke this? Hey, you faggots want to smoke this? He was talking to a pack of cigarettes. Oh, boy. Yeah, speaking of dads, listen to your stuff. Like, so on our last episode with our good friend.
Is that what we were speaking of?
Jake Barrow. No, but I was talking about
Sure. We got
scared children.
We got off topic. Oh, God, yeah.
So I'm going to address it again just because one time wasn't enough. But there's these couple of like YouTube or hood clip videos or whatever. And they're like scared black boys. Right?
Got to go back to that well.
It's so funny. But no, the only reason I bring it up is because I was thinking about that. Like when I was editing that episode, I was like, man, I might cut this out. That's why I asked you. Because after I edit an episode, Josh will listen to it.
Right.
To kind of like double check, make sure there's nothing that I missed or something maybe we should condense or whatever. And I felt real bad about that. I was like, man, I really don't want to come off as like hateful or like racist or anything.
Is this your apology, or are you going off on you're going deeper down the...
I'm sorry if you were offended.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry if you were offended about that.
I don't think anybody really will.
I don't think anybody will listen, first of all, but I don't know. It was just so funny. Anyways.
Well, thanks, by the way, I think I told you personally, but you censored me on the first and last time I was on the podcast.
Well, we were in a pre-Trump world back then.
You censored what you thought might have seemed racist, but all I said was Indian.
I know. I'm sorry. You were mad about. You were mad
That's
about
all
that.
I'm saying.
You were.
I wasn't
upset.
mad. But you on the which episode was it? Patrick Riley episode.
Yes.
You came clean, so thanks.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember.
'Cause the topic came up of oversensitivity on that.
Well, that's the thing is now, like anytime even right now when we were throwing around the F word, it's like, it's all joking, but it's like, gosh, like I always feel like worried. Like, do you ever feel worried? Do you ever say something and feel worried?
Oh, dude, every goddamn day of my life.
I mean, here.
Oh, no.
No?
See, when I'm speaking into a microphone, it's just going to this machine and no one's listening to this, right?
A few people.
So I get to say whatever the hell I want.
Everyone at this table. That's about
Everyone at the
it.
table, yeah.
It's just a masturbatory thing. We just all listen to it and make inside
No,
jokes.
I think if this is for entertainment purposes, and it's also for getting to know new people, not these two assholes because we've known them forever. But it's at the end of the day, it's all about entertainment. So if someone gets offended by something, that was a Jim Norton, getting all sniffy Jim Norton style. There's no seriousness about it. It's not like we said faggot bundle of sticks, meaning we're going to go out and kill gay people. No, we're talking about a dumb word and what that word used to mean and how it's weird.
Right.
That word.
Of course. But the thing is like things can so easily be taken out of context.
It should always be about the intent. And yeah, people get a hold of it and run with it when they want to be, as Joe Rogan says, recreationally outraged.
Right. Like wake up and go, what's going to upset me today? You know, it's so lame. It's so lame. And I'm a sensitive guy. I'm a very sensitive guy, but like stuff doesn't bother me. And maybe it's my privilege, you know, maybe it is, but things just don't really bother me.
Right.
I think people hear things like that too, and they don't know how to react to it. So they feel like they should be upset because they feel weird about thinking that it's funny, maybe.
But when that happens, don't you just want to like grab someone and be like, there's more to worry about than somebody saying something?
I don't know. I can't.
Can't you take a fucking joke?
Yeah.
I would have just agreed with you fully, but then you brought up that privilege thing, and maybe I do have this massive blind spot. I don't. Maybe all the talk of privilege does have some weight and a reality.
It certainly does.
Well,
it certainly does.
Then why are there comedians such as Bill Burr, whose entire act is based on teetering or pushing that line of, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Pushing boundaries?
Very much pushing boundaries, like making you feel uncomfortable about things, but you think about it in a way of like, everyone has these weird fucking thoughts, some more than others, some in heavier levels than others, but it's there to pretend that we're all in this like plastic bubble of a world and we can't hurt anybody is kind of childish, right? Like,
you're right, and I feel dumb just now for succumbing to that privilege thing, because it is always about the privilege or the intent, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't hate. Bill Burr doesn't hate any
No.
group that he's making jokes about or anything.
Well, for instance, like you and your daughter do a podcast, okay? And like,
we drop the N-bomb all the time.
nuggets.
As a
nuggets.
really good friend, I listen to every episode. I always stay up to date. I never miss an episode. I never skip an episode. And one of the newest ones, you introduced a new character to the cast of characters, the cursing table.
Yeah.
And first of all, I want to hear the uncensored version.
Okay.
Erica wants to hear it so bad. We listened to it the other day. I listened to it twice, once with her and once by myself. But I'm wondering, like, has anybody said anything about that? Or were you afraid at all of some like uptight parent being like, I used to listen to this and now we're not going to listen to it anymore because there's a bunch of beeps in it?
There's no listeners other than our family.
Really?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
not that Joe Wirtz listens. What up, Joe?
Tight.
Thanks for the $5 donation. I shouldn't have said a number. Beep that number out.
Look at
Censor me.
He's big time in this. He's coming on our podcast and talking about his
It was my
donations.
One and only donation ever. But the donation clearly says it goes to Bonnie's school.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did you like bring the $5 bill up there and like hand it to the superintendent?
It was in an envelope, right?
there's a foundation that does things to support her school that I could PayPal donate to. So
tight. Did that go through your head like before you hit before you hit publish on that episode's
No.
post? You didn't think about like
I mean, it did, but not in the kind of way you're asking. The opposite way went through my head, which was like, if anybody has a problem with this, then fuck you, and it makes me want to publish it even more. But not in it. There's a fine line between the cussing dad, who is the dad that I just sounded like by saying that. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Mom.
Fuck you, Dad.
We've all been around
the
cussing dad, right? And just wants to, that has no filter around their kid and will say anything. It wasn't about that. It was about, like, are we really having problems over a kid saying shit or whatever? But I got to clarify what happened, actually. I created the talking table as a device to talk openly and honestly with Bonnie. And I said, there are no rules on what you can say to your dad here at this table. As long as it's our dining room table. As long as we're sitting here and your hands are on the table, you can tell me whatever you want.
Which is a great...
And she turned it into cussing.
It's a great parenting tool, in my opinion. I think that's a really...
Yeah, it makes it feel like she can,
Well, honestly,
something might be happening.
Yeah, if not, you remember being a kid, like, thoughts in your head, like, is it okay to say this?
Yeah,
like,
you
am
don't know if
I
you can say
weird for thinking these things or wanting to say this? So
No,
that's a good way of being like too healthfully.
Healthfully.
At 5, which she's 5, like if your parents came to you at 12, they were like, tell me all your inner thoughts at this table. As long as your hands are on the table, tell me. Pubescent Josh. What are you thinking?
Boobs.
I just like titties.
I love big batitties. I tell you what. Were you going to say something a second ago?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say it's good that you're kind of showing her that there's a time and place when you can talk like that.
Yeah.
I think it's teaching her a good lesson. You don't have to feel afraid to.
I totally agree. Growing up, I kind of had this weird disconnect with my parents. Like, I never cursed in front of them. Ever. Raised in kind of a Christian household, kind of conservative.
I still feel weird doing it.
I don't now.
Yeah.
My dad's funny though, because he'll cuss to me all he wants. And then like if I cuss around him, usually it's fine. But every once in a while he'll go, you got to say it like that. I'm like, I've said fuck to you like 30 times today. And
I won't drop the F-bomb in front of my parents. I did once and my mom smacked me.
That was going to be my next question.
As like a grown adult?
Oh, I was like 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the context?
I don't remember.
Like, fuck you, Mom?
No, God, no. It was, I think I said, I don't want any fucking something. And she went smack right across the face. And
But it sounds like you were being a bitch about something.
Yeah, I was. I definitely was.
Not just the fuck word.
No, Mom, I don't want any more fucking carrots.
Right.
Jesus. I don't want any fucking lunch money, Mom.
And then I laughed at her and she started crying and I felt
after the slap?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I didn't know how to react to it.
Well, that would be
started laughing.
Very fragile moment for your mother.
Oh, it definitely was.
Because her feelings were hurt by your language. Mm-hmm. Then, she snap reacted and slapped you, which she probably didn't want to do.
Right.
And then you laughing at her after that. Like, that's a real heavy,
that's a smorgasbord of emotions. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was 17. So
yeah.
Was it swept under the rug since then? Or like maybe on a recent Christmas it came up? And
it has never come up, but it's always in the back of my head when I'm talking and I'm thinking about profanity, and I just won't use the
that's
word
good
because of that.
There's something to be said for that. I will say.
Or in front of her?
In front of my mom.
Okay.
There is something to be said for that. And it's still weird to me, like cursing in front of my father. But I was going to ask, like, did y'all ever have a moment like where you did that in front of one of your parents and like that was like, ooh, a big deal? No?
Mine was like the first time I ever did it was like in anger, like, getting in trouble. Dad's yelling at you. You're yelling back. And I go, the typical like, fuck you, Dad. And you guys like looked at me like with those eyes of like, I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
Oh, you put the U on the end. That's when it gets serious.
Yeah. And like that fucking finger point and then slam the room, put on some fucking music, blare like, and then he just comes in there and beats the shit out of me.
Blare some like Blink 182 or
it was probably like Korn or something. No, 311. Yeah, that's my anger music. Fuck you, Dad. I'll be around.
Slam your door, put on some Raffy.
But no, he came in, he gave me the old walloping, said, hey.
He whip your ass?
Don't talk, did you respect your parents?
Did he whip your ass?
Oh, yeah.
They tan your hide.
He tanned the hide. Hard.
there was nothing worse than getting whipped when you were a kid. And I didn't get whipped very often. I was a good boy. But man, a couple times my dad whipped my ass. I mean, like to where I thought he didn't like me anymore.
With a belt? What device?
Hand.
Yeah.
Always bare hand.
No switch?
No fucking switch. What is this?
Switch.
The dark
I got switch.
I had to pick my switch.
Calling it a switch, first of all, is like, it's a
light switch.
No, it's like fucking colonial or something.
Like the witch.
I got switched. I got
Like the witch. Yeah.
switched and belted. That's how that goes.
Did you
No,
get whipped?
never.
Never got whipped?
Mm-mm.
Ever? Never got your ass spanked?
No.
Even as a boy?
I mean, spanked maybe when I was like a little kid.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, he got pimp
In the
slapped by
mouth.
his mom.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, there was that.
She said, kiss the ring and fucking backhanded you.
That's even worse to wait till you're 17 and you don't get switched, you don't
Yeah.
get belted,
Mhm.
but you
Just
get pimp slapped.
Slapped across the face.
I never got switched. I did get beat with a belt. Not beat. I got 4 teeth knocked out with my dad's rodeo belt buckle. But,
I was tied to a post and beaten with a bell. And that's
yeah, I was left for dead. I was skinned alive and hung by my feet in the woods. But other than that, it was a great
I
Christmas.
survived for 3 days on squirrel entrails and river water.
My own excrement.
Call my dad a fag.
I smoked my grandma and called my dad a fat. What?
Smoked your grandma?
Yeah, man. No, speaking of grandmas though, she was a sweet woman, God rest her soul. But when I was about 14, she tried to whip me one time.
Tried?
At 14.
That was the last time she tried.
Oh, hell yeah, it was.
Did you grab her hand and go, fuck you, grandma?
I said, this ends now. No, I might have been 13. Not that that makes a difference, but me and a friend of mine were just like giving her hell one night. Just like, I feel terrible, but it's really funny in retrospect. And she got so angry. I'd never seen my grandma that angry. And she was like, bend over the couch right now. And she put on this big strap on. she got a house shoe. And
With a house shoe?
with a house shoe. And it was like a floppy, like
like a slipper.
like a deer foam, like a classic like granny house shoe.
Right.
And she started going to town trying to whip me as hard as she could, and it didn't hurt at all. And I started laughing, and then she started crying.
That's what happened with me.
It was so fun. It was like some weird like dominance power play moment, and she never tried again. But I felt so terrible after that, and yeah, that's the end of that story.
That should never be a grandchild dynamic where there's some power struggle, physical power struggle. It's so horrible.
Yeah, it was a good day. So what's going on in your life right now, guys? Come on, let's have it. It's time to air the grievances.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Festivus?
sort of.
I just had that weird Christmas. That's my life.
I had a weird Christmas too. My wife had a little Christmas get together the night before, and had a few glasses of wine. Woke up Christmas Eve day, and we had a lot of Christmasing to do. We had to go to my parents, then go to her parents, and she was sick. Like, sick. And like, here's that guilt growing up. Like, I went out to my parents by myself. She stayed home, and I didn't tell my parents that she was hungover. I was like, oh yeah, she just got sick. Like, I didn't lie. I just didn't expose the
How many
entire
times have you
truth.
pulled that in the reverse?
Like, been hungover?
Well, no, just not wanted to go somewhere, and she had to say the sick card for
never
you.
once.
You never call in sick to a wife obligation?
Maybe, but nothing that sticks out in my mind. Like, I don't know.
I think what you're saying is she listens to this sometimes.
Maybe so.
So why do we do that, though? Because I've done that on several occasions, too. We were just talking earlier about honesty and being honest with yourself and with others. Why can't you just go, like, if my wife went to her parents' house, like, hey, where's Josh? He didn't feel like coming. Just be fucking honest about it. He just didn't feel like coming.
Because I think when you're married, there's like certain things you have to do. It's
There's
tradition.
kind of a tally too between,
yes,
your chips. Like,
Not
you owe
really.
me this, or last time you did this.
I think Erica feels like she owes me. Like I gotta get off the hook once. Like I have one in my like little tap tab.
You can just say that you have it queued up.
I have it queued up. Yes, proudly on my knee. I have a get out of jail free card tab. But you know what I'm saying? Like I've got one. Like I've got a point of karma to spend eventually.
See, we don't have that tally. We don't have that tally mentality where it's like, I did this, now you got to do this. I went to her parents on Christmas Eve. The first time I've been to their house in like months, and she goes there a lot. And I'll go there from time to time, but not all the time. She rarely comes to my parents, so it's not really a thing we're real big on. Or the thing is like, because if you're not going to be comfortable, I'm not going to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Like if you don't really want to be there, if you don't feel good, or you know, if you're tired or hungover or whatever, like just stay home. Not a big deal.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but I feel like you have to kind of keep that up, especially if it started
Depends
that way.
on your families that you're going to visit.
Yeah,
because that expectation's always from your family.
Totally. Like I think that my dad and my stepmom wanted her to be there just as much as I did, if not maybe more. You know, like I wasn't mad. Like so before I went out to my dad's, we had to be at my dad's at noon and her parents at 4, and they're like on opposite sides of the state pretty much. Mm-hmm. So we were going to get up early, go to my dad's, go out there. And I got there and I felt like divorced dad. I felt like divorced Uncle Rob. And it wasn't a good feeling.
Was
like,
the first question,
honest.
Where's Erica?
Oh yeah. Like my dad I'll pull up and my dad always comes outside to like greet me out in the driveway, you know, and
you're just keeping up appearances is all it is really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it did feel kind of weird. I wasn't mad at all.
You were stewing though, weren't you?
But it wasn't weird. But it felt weird.
It did. Oh, it felt so weird, dude. Because it felt like something was missing,
right?
You know, and I wasn't mad, and I wasn't really stewing. I was kind of sad.
Were you just sitting there going, like, that's what happens, I think, to everybody at this family get together is like everybody's forced to be there, and you end up just kind of, if something's has gone wrong, you end up cycling it through your brain, just ruminating over that. And then it ends up a bigger deal by the time you're done. Did that happen?
No, not really. I just kind of got sad because Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I put a lot of thought into Christmas, and I do really enjoy it. And I would be lying if I wasn't like, just should have came, you know, but I wasn't mad because I've been sick, you know, whether it was, you know, self-inflicted or a matter of circumstance or whatever. I've been sick before. But it was funny because before I left, I've been taking baths lately. Wintertime, I love taking baths.
I'm a bath boy.
Yeah. Are you a bath boy? But summertime, I like showers. Wintertime, I like baths. But I took a little dip before I went out to my dad's, and I put a little Dr. I put a little Dr. Teal's in there. I got the eucalyptus going, the smells, the bubbles.
Smoked a fag.
Smoked a couple
Was it a
fags.
spicy meatball?
My hand motions giving away. It was groovy, baby. So anyways, I was taking a bath, and like another kind of funny thing about Erica and I being together is like, if I'm in the bathroom, like if I'm in the shower or in the bathtub, I don't like her coming in there. I mean, she's seen me naked a million times. We make love every once in a while.
Has your wife seen you naked?
A couple times through the sheet, but through the hole in the sheet. But if I'm in the bathtub, that's just kind of like my zone. I feel I don't know, like I don't like being walked in on if I'm in the bathtub. Because like your little twig and berries are in the water, it makes it look smaller. It's like, I don't know. I'm in there with my iPad looking at weird shit.
Sure.
Anyways, she didn't knock the door down, but she
kicked it in and said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, she fucking put on that old strap on and kicked the door down.
Black Friday, that door with the strap on, like a Kool-Aid man.
It was like that scene in The Shining, but instead of the hatchet, it was a big dildo. God damn it. But like she comes in and just starts comically throwing up in the toilet. I mean, like you could hear the water hitting the bowl,
ruining your experience,
ruining my bath. Yeah, and then Christmas. But I was just, I felt bad for her. I definitely wasn't mad. She knows I wasn't mad, but I did feel bad. Like I was like, she's sick, so I left and I stayed. But yeah, it felt like what it would have been like if I would have just gotten divorced. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's like I drove out there by myself. I carried the presents in by myself. You know, I maybe got that hug was a little bit longer from like my sister and my dad. And it just felt like I was going through the motions of being single, but
That's
I wasn't.
why I asked you if you let it get bigger than it was, because that's stuff that you projected onto the situation.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is it wasn't any big deal, but it felt like a big deal. Kind of like you said too. It's just like you're going through this motion of what it might feel like if things were different. And it was not a good feeling. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like, you know, putting my shades on and like enjoying.
Put your starter jacket
Put the
on.
top down. Get your starter jacket.
Put my strap on and just heading out to bed.
Put that top down. Put the strap on. Light a fag.
Top down, strap on. Yeah.
Do you say putting your strap on, or do you just say putting your strap on?
My strap on.
Strapping on.
you say strapping
Strapping
on.
on, yeah.
I'm strapped on.
In the community, I believe that's what they say.
Just
You
strapping
definitely
on.
don't say putting my strap on.
I like that. You should. Get your strap on. Anyway.
Did it all come together though?
It was fine. Here's the silver lining. I didn't have to go to Purcell. She started feeling better.
So you got sick.
No.
Quote sick.
No, she did it right. So I was at my dad's and she texted me and she's like, "Hey, I'm feeling a little better now." She slept it off, got up, ate a little something. She said, do you want to go down to Purcell with me, or, do you want to just spend some time with your family? And I was like, well, no, maybe I already used my get out of jail free
I think
card.
you just used it.
Yeah. She's like, okay, well, I'll go down there. So she ended up going down to her parents. We had our separate Christmases. And she texted me. She was like, this feels weird. She's like, there's a seat here next to me that should be yours and you're not here. But she totally understood. She's like, no, have fun with your family. Like, don't worry about leaving and driving all the way out there. Because it's a big triangle of a journey to go to all these places.
So that makes sense. Like, you have like family dinner and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So for us, like, we don't really do that. So it like when one of us doesn't go to a thing, it's not like they're not planning on both of us being there. No one. It's like just a thing. If you want to come out, come out.
Oh, see, no, my family is you go there, you show up together, you bring the presents in.
Oh, we're not that way at all.
You just pass around the old strap on.
Just pass around the old strap on. See, I have my own. So we each have our own strap ons. So
nice. Wait, why would you have a strap on?
I'm double dicking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the real one, and then it gets comically outshone by the gigantic.
You're supposed to buy a smaller.
See, that's what I thought, but maybe
They make
next
them
time.
that small?
I don't think they do.
Like a little gherkin.
A little gherkin. Well, that's what I did. I took a
strap-on baby carrot.
Well, that's what I did. It's a baby carrot, and I put it on a golf tee, and I hot glued that to a jock strap. So
let me ask you.
Merry Christmas.
You strap it on the left of your existing one or the right of it?
I would go above.
I was thinking above or below.
Yeah. Above, because one goes in the hoo-hoo and one goes in the poo-poo.
It depends on which way you're facing.
Is that what your grandma calls it?
Yeah, the hoo and the poo-poo.
Oh, boy. All right.
happening here?
I don't know. It's getting weird.
Some weird, wild stuff.
So, this is coming out like the day before New Year's Eve. What are y'all doing? Are y'all doing anything for New Year's Eve? Or are we just going to stay here till then? Going to hunker down?
Got a hot plate, microwave,
sick.
a couple cots.
You're not going to be sick then.
I'll be getting sick.
Oh, right. Okay.
Quotes.
I don't know. I'm not feeling a New Year's party this year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We had a nice one at our house last year.
You said that at Halloween on the podcast.
I didn't party on Halloween. You know what I did? I took a bath. An uninterrupted
He did
bath.
take a bath on Halloween.
I did. I stayed at home.
I'm going to Texas for New Year's. For my first New Year's, not bartending in I don't know fucking how long.
You're going to get some 6 Point beer and tattoos while you're there?
I'm going to get a nice tattoo at Tigger's. I'm going to go, I don't know fucking. I am definitely getting fucking breakfast at,
You going to go to Buzz Brews?
I'm going Buzz Brews.
Oh, shit.
Now we're going there, going to watch a hockey game. Got a nice hotel room. Just going to drink some champagne, hang out, and come back.
What about you guys? Any big plans?
No plans yet. I am ready for this year to be over, though.
I agree.
Because 2016, am I right?
I've never seen so many shit year memes. It's like, I think it was a shit year for everybody. I'm on board with the shit year.
I've heard a lot of people like going off
I think
on
every
like
year's a
tangents.
shit year.
Yeah, it is. Life is shit.
Right.
Up and down.
Wall to wall.
Wall to wall. It's
Are these
terrible.
Slipknot lyrics?
Life is shit. People equal shit.
it's funny you say that though, because I do agree that 2016 like kind of seemed kind of shitty. Like, you know, we have to welcome this idiot.
Not that January 1st is going to make anything feel different.
No,
it's
it's
just not.
Yeah.
But
Clean slate.
you know, my really good friend George Michael passed away last night, and you know the memes just started just started rolling in. The Instagram feed, just a lot of George Michael fans.
I will
just
say
out of the blue yesterday.
the Arrested Development one was kind of a little too soon. You know what I mean? Like
It's
it's
the only one I liked.
funny, but it's kind of like
I didn't even see that one.
Well, okay, so a friend of mine brought this up last night. You know, they're like, man, like 2016, so many people died. Oh my gosh, like I've never felt like it was this bad. And my response was like, well, it's just going to be worse every year from here on out because as we get older,
It's always bad. People always die.
well,
yeah.
we're in our mid 30s though now, so everyone like we idolized and looked up to are now in their like 60s.
That's true.
It's just going to be a matter of time before they all drop off. And here's the thing, life is finite. We're all going to fucking die. Get used to it. So,
But don't you also think that as we get older, the people, you know, the George Michaels, the you know, the Paul McCartneys, the whatever, the people we liked our entire lives, don't you think?
I didn't like George Michael my entire life.
P-Mac's still alive
Only
though,
up until
so-
recently.
for now, for now.
now.
Here's my big speculation. Paul McCartney will die in 2017.
You put money on that?
You heard it here first. No, but I'm making a New Year's prediction. He will die.
I think
in
he's too rich.
You're saying it too assertive.
To die.
Like, well, he already died.
Well,
That's right.
he'll die again in 2017. No,
You mean his lookalike will die?
but what I'm saying is, if you could map out death, let's just take celebrity deaths.
Mm-hmm.
If you could map them out on a big XY axis, don't you think that that's going to rise as we get older?
Yeah.
More and more of these icons, I guess you'd
I
say.
mean, until the
are
singularity,
going to
then
die.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's just going to cap off, be a straight line. But do you see what I'm getting at?
That's a
Like,
good point. I never took those all the shitty 2016 talk as pop culture events being shitty. Those are like the high notes. The year culminating with the Trump presidency
Right.
and by the way, side note, I thought I was seeing so much George Michael because of his Christmas song, and people were, I didn't know he was dead till you just said.
Are you
"Is he
serious?"
dead?" I didn't know.
Yeah, George Michael died yesterday, man.
I thought people were like
He was 53.
appreciating his,
which is young.
See, that's the thing. Well, here, and also, I think the thing is, it's not, oh, another celebrity's dead. It's like the good ones. It's not like fucking JJ Walker, you know, like, it's not like B-list, C-list celebrities are dropping like flies. It's like Lemmy, fucking Bowie. You know what I mean? Like,
Who gives a fuck about Lemmy? Honestly, like seriously, is Lemmy an A-list celebrity?
in the world of like,
Why would I
hard
give a
rock?
fuck
Yeah,
about him
dude.
if he's not an A-list celebrity?
I know, that's what I'm saying. If he's not an A-lister,
Is
you
he
might
on-
as well kill him.
Is he on the cover of Us Weekly? Do the Kardashians invite him over for dinner?
That'll be a real
Oh,
sad
God.
day.
Dude, I want them all to die. 2017, every Kardashian will die in a fucking yacht fire. Please, God, make
all
that
the
happen.
great year memes.
No, I'm totally being facetious here.
Mm-hmm.
God rest your soul, Lemmy. We were real close, but really, like, I feel like when like, okay, George Michael, for example, I'm not discrediting the guy's death or his reach or his talent or whatever,
His
what he
entire
meant
catalog,
to people.
yeah.
Sure, but it's like people pass away.
They do.
It's gonna happen, and then when you see your entire Facebook feed or your Instagram feed, you know, fill up with this, it's like, when's the last time you heard somebody talk about George Michael?
Well,
Honestly,
we all said that with Michael Jackson and all that stuff too, though. Like, when's the last? But
we
wait,
talk. Go ahead.
no,
I'm sorry.
I remember when Michael Jackson died. Our little crew had like a Michael Jackson party. If you don't recall, we all like put Michael Jackson songs on, got drunk as shit.
I don't remember having a Michael
It
Jackson
wasn't a
party.
party. It's like, oh, he's dead. Let's fuck. I'm not like a party. You know what
Well,
I mean?
that
we
sounds
all-
like a cool. I mean, that's way different, and in my
that dude
opinion, way
fucked
cooler
kids.
than just posting that. Not obligatory, but we talk about it all the time. Is whenever these things happen, a lot of people who I think you're talking about take it as an opportunity to
Cash in.
cash in a what would be the currency, like self
likes.
like
Mhm.
no, not likes. I think
Clicks.
it's like you're trying to say something about you.
It's
Maybe
like-
it is.
It just becomes a
likes.
trend for like 24 hours. And
Yeah.
just get in on it.
But you do it with people that you want people to know that you appreciated, either genuinely or not. But so like Lou Reed was a big example of that.
Right.
Like, and before Lou Reed died, and like Velvet Underground was a big marker of like, it's like saying you like My Bloody Valentine or something, right?
Mhm.
So you've got to make that post when he dies, just to say I was a Velvet Underground fan.
Or Leon Russell.
Okay.
Yeah, in another
Who gives
way,
a
yeah.
shit. But I'm joking. I'm joking, Leon. Like, okay, for instance, like when Neil Young kicks the bucket, will I
You're
be
gonna
sad?
post.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
Okay, I will. But
You will, but you'll make a somber. I don't usually do this.
don't like this, but no, but that's the thing is like I celebrate his entire catalog. I've liked him my whole life. I've liked him since I was
You
born.
own a Pono or a Pong or whatever. What's it
No,
called?
it's a pimp box. I told you.
It's a Toblerone pimp box.
Toblerone, yeah, it's a triangle thing.
No, that's the
an
shape of my
$800
strap on. It's the shape of Neil Young's MP3 player or whatever. Pono? Is that what
It
it
looks,
was?
it looks like
yeah.
a piece from The Fifth Element.
It does.
Yeah.
It totally does. Anyways, what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with making the post. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, if I were to make a George Michael post, like I need to save my post for the deaths that matter, is what I'm saying. Like Neil Young, like Sir Paul, like, other people.
Ringo.
I like.
Well, you're not even, first of all, a daily poster. Or you don't derive what other posters derive from doing that kind of thing. There are people who post on all them deaths, right?
All them deaths.
deaths.
Well, they used to call it ambulance chasing.
Mm-hmm.
But what would it be called now?
I was thinking about
Like
that.
chasing?
I was wondering if people actually like Google a celebrity death today. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? And like, it's like just immediately post, like just find some random.
You
like,
know, that's.
did you know
yeah.
the head coach for the Cincinnati blah 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 back in '76? He died today. He was such a great coach. You know what I mean? Like
he was an A-list.
In a way, though, that's the same thing as
fishing.
following whatever. I'm not up to date on my blogs. I was going to say like BuzzFeed or something. I don't know if that's a thing.
Who's on him blog?
But like, you know, you get on or on myspace.com and
Yeah, Zanga.
look for the latest news. Maybe there's not somebody Googling that, but
Right.
they are constantly waiting to retweet the latest thing. Like, surely, they want to be
Yeah.
the first to retweet Neil Young died.
What I'm going to do is carry around a notebook in my pocket, and anytime there's a celebrity death, I'm going to make a little graph of who posted it when and where and what time. I don't know why where would matter, but I'm gonna start doing some research, and I'm gonna see if there's like any sort of like trend or pattern.
I bet
there is.
I bet Facebook. That's the true value of Facebook, right? The anthropological data they have.
Yes.
So they probably have that graph.
I'm sure you could search the hashtag RIP.
Yeah, and just like put it in some sort of chronological order. But I mean, even just like among the people we know, the people that, are in our feeds respectively. Like, I'm not going to name any names, but even in the top of my head, like I can think of like three good names that I'm like, they're on that death. Well, it's John, Kurt, and
And what if Kurt Cobain what if we had Facebook when he died?
Oh, Jesus.
Facebook would explode.
do you think?
Because it would have been like that analog memorial they had for him on MTV, remember?
Oh, yeah.
When they had
yeah.
analog candles and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Analog candles.
Not digital candles.
Love that band.
Digital candles is a much better band.
So yeah, man, now I just feel like a curmudgeon talking about how much I hate people posting stuff. And I do that all the time. And I told myself on the way here today that I was going to be positive.
No, it's bullshit, man. You can call that out.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I hate it. It's like, it's
It's not posting.
obvious.
It's just once it becomes a thing, that's when you start to cringe.
Yeah.
It was put into perspective with me lately with somebody close to me who has cancer, and you're thinking like, if this person, what if somebody close to you dies? Would you post it then? And what's different about those two scenarios? The
Difference
celebrity that died, but a lot of people are acting as if it's stricken them almost as heavily.
Well, like
as
Robbie
somebody
said,
close
like
to you.
Robbie's kind of joke about Lemmy, like Lemmy, we're best buds or whatever. Like that's the difference. There are people who are posting it as a celebrity of like, it meant so much to me. But like when someone dies, someone who's close to you dies, that's a personal
Yeah, I guess nobody's acting
thing.
like it's hit them that hard, but
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's the
there are
same-
people. You've seen the celebrity posts of like, my world's crumbling now because
that's, I guess, what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Those are the extremes.
yeah.
But what about the grandma on deathbed pictures? Do you see those?
Yes, and it's usually like I can't tell if those are staged or not.
No, I see.
Like you see the girl making duck lips, like glad to see you, Grandma, before you go, and she's like shooting a peace sign and duck lips, taking a selfie in front of her dying grandmother.
That's kind of the same thing, right?
Do you think they
Yeah.
did burst photo on that and like had to pick the best one out of like
Of
30?
grandma or the duck lips? The duck lips, of course, right?
Did when you put it on Facebook, did it pop up and say who's in this picture, like to try to auto tag her corpse or something?
Probably. And then she sat in the chair next to her grandma and just filtered it for like 5 minutes.
That's making my butthole burn a little bit. I don't like that.
Well, I like your
Strap-on.
prediction for 2017, Paul McCartney.
I'm just saying. You heard it here first.
I'm going to say Ringo.
I don't know. The reason I say that is because on Hulu, there's a commercial that they keep showing.
A Paul McCartney being shot in the face?
No.
Okay.
No, but it's Ron Howard, Ringo Starr, and Paul McCartney.
Right.
And Ron Howard is dressed up like John Lennon. And he's kind of doing like a, oh, do I make you horny, baby?
When someone quotes John Lennon, it's usually, do I make you
Yeah.
do I make you
it's
horny,
usually
baby?
All you need
in
is
the right order.
shagadelic.
You got to put it in the right order.
No, it's Ron Howard, and it's him, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr, and they're like sitting in like director's chairs, and
Right.
they're plugging this like new Beatles documentary called The Touring Years that just came out.
Okay.
And man, Paul is looking old.
He looks
man.
like a great grandma lesbian woman.
He does, but Ringo's looking bad too. So I'm just saying, like, the card's got to fall eventually.
Mhm.
Celebrity deaths, 2017. Anybody?
Paul McCartney, I'm saying Paul McCartney.
I don't have any predictions.
No.
I think
Somebody.
I would never really be that affected by any celebrity dying, even somebody that I really like. I mean, I would be sad for a little bit, but I don't care.
What about like Russell Westbrook?
I would be bummed.
Would you post?
I would be bummed.
I would post,
Would
but I'm not going to be like, oh my God.
No, Colin would go, R.I.P. Westbrook, hashtag bummed. That's it.
Exactly.
Hashtag bummed.
We go ahead and draft that and save it for
Go ahead. Yeah. Just
40 years or whenever he's going to die.
What about you? Any celebrity deaths?
Just off the top of my head, because you said something like, did you say transsexual grandma or something? It just made me think of Steven Tyler. He might go soon,
Oh,
right?
God, I hope that.
Right.
I mean, I would say I hope. I hope everyone lives forever.
I do have one.
Okay.
Donald Trump.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean,
Hey, man, you might be.
You're the FBI is knocking on our door right now before the episode's even out. We had a little discussion about that in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Won't repeat what I said. So you said Steven Tyler?
That's my guess, yeah.
I'm Ringo. I hope Ringo.
Yeah, you
I'm
trying to be
Ringo.
like me, naming a Beatle?
Well, one of the two. I hope he goes before Paul.
Yoko?
Is she still alive?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Weird. Weird. Wild.
You guys got any impressions before we go? You know, it wouldn't be an episode without one of us doing an impression.
We were doing that at lunch the other day, our Austin Powers impressions, and how cringy as fuck Austin Powers impressions were back in the day.
John Lennon impressions.
We were talking about John Lennon as Austin Powers. Dude, what if there was like an SNL skit where it was like people reading for Austin Powers, kind of like that Star Wars one?
Yeah.
But it was John Lennon. Oh, man.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Do I make you horny? Listen. No, we were talking about that in the car the other day. We were driving back from lunch and we were walking out of the restaurant and you said something like, man, I'm really full. Are you? And I was like, yeah, baby. Like really, really loud around a bunch of people. And we got in the car and we proceeded to talk about
That's great.
when Austin Powers came out, we were like in high school.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember thinking it was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And that there was a lot of merchandise.
Mhm.
And I
Heavily
went on
merchandise.
I went on to tell a story about this guy I worked with. When I worked at Hot Topic, there was
You
this,
told Juice story?
no,
You told Juice?
hey, give me your best Greek diner owner. Go. No, this is a different fella. But
Okay.
so
A different guy you worked with who was obsessed with Austin Powers.
yes, this is a different story. Yeah. Oh, I have many. You guys got a few. So when I worked at Hot Topic, we were all Satanists, baby killers, what you would now call like the alt-right. But there was a guy I worked with, and I cannot remember his name, so we're going to call him Anton LaVey. He was a little older than I was. Imagine a goth Ned Flanders is what this guy was like. Like Ned Flanders hair, but black.
What age?
He was probably in his like mid 20s, and I maybe late 20s, and I was like 17. So he was older than I was. He was dark, like goth, but he didn't dress goth. He dressed like a Ned Flanders, but it was all black, like all the time.
Like a sweater.
But
Did he
cop mustache?
He had a cop mustache, but I want to say it was like between a Ned Flanders.
Wait, are you saying a cock mustache? Okay.
Is that just your pubes?
No, it's a mustache for a cock. It's like a broom. It's a cock broom.
Does it go on the end or up at the top? At the base?
A Selleck.
It was kind of a Selleck.
Goth Selleck.
So far, he is a refused member with a Selleck.
Goth Ned Flanders.
Anyway, continue.
Anyways, Anton was weird. He was on the scale. He was kind of on the Asperger's-y scale a little bit, I think.
I thought you were saying the gay scale.
We had a cock mustache, though, of course.
Is there a gay scale? Anyways, he was dark. Like he had a pentagram tattoo on his back. He was into like Satanism and stuff like that. He had a Ned Flanders, but it was like shaved in the middle, so it was kind of a LaVey also.
A reverse Hitler.
Yes, reverse Chaplin. But
this is nothing like Ned Flanders.
He had a sweater, so therefore he dressed like Ned Flanders.
He owned a sweater. No, he had Ned Flanders hair, but black.
Okay.
And
no pompadour.
and glasses, the same Ned Flanders glasses. But anyways, he was into like dark stuff. Like he loved like KMFDM, and he loved like the Satanic Bible and stuff like that. His one like grasp to like pop culture and reality, it was he loved Austin Powers. And he's
winging this.
No,
this guy
does
does not make sense.
I swear. He had this, he would always wear black slacks with like black leather slip-on shoes and red, like crimson red socks and like a black sweater with like a black t-shirt, or not t-shirt, but a black shirt underneath, a la Ned Flanders. But he would wear this t-shirt, and on the front in like that groovy swinging 60s font, it said, "Do I make you horny, baby?" And on the bottom was like that picture of Austin Powers like laying on the round bed, like with his legs up. And then on the back it said, "Yeah, baby," or something like that. But he would go around the store, and he was kind of a creep, and he would always flirt with the female customers that would come in. He would go around the store in this shirt, and he would go up to customers and be like, "Welcome to Hot Topic. I hope you're having a shagadelic good time, baby." Because he thought it was cool. It was so not cool.
And what time was that? This was past its prime.
This was probably like when the second movie came out.
Oh no,
Okay.
like that was
So
just
still the
hitting
height.
its stride. It was right before Goldman Brew and it sank.
I would say it's peak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And man, I just remember like even back then thinking, this guy's gonna have a hard time getting laid. Like it was that's my story. I
You
don't
need
know,
to find him.
dude.
Facebook him.
Put his picture, if you can find a picture, put it for the episode pic on Instagram.
It's embarrassing, man. Yeah, he would walk around the store doing Austin Power, and he was proud of it. Like he didn't do it as a joke to get like a cringe reaction.
Was it good?
It was pretty good.
Okay.
I'll give him that. It was.
So it
pretty
wasn't one of
decent.
those like high school jokes like, "Yeah, baby, yeah. Do
No.
I make you horny, baby?" You know?
It was like a Bostonian power, Boston Powers.
Boston Power.
That's from SNL.
Shall we shag now? Or, no, what the fuck is that?
Hey, see, shall we shag now or shag
I
later?
keep going to 1920s gold prospect here.
Shall we shag now?
Shall we shag now or shag later?
That was.
I don't even know. Don't let me have a microphone ever. Why am I on this thing?
Yeah. Favorite Austin Powers in closing?
No.
I really just want to see the guy that has no Ned Flanders in him whatsoever.
I honestly cannot remember his name. I want to say it. Just next time you get on Facebook, just search Derek, and it might pop up.
Okay,
I don't know.
Derek, do I make you horny, baby?
Derek, and then likes Austin Powers.
Yeah, Derek Austin Powers LeVay. After all these years, he's still rocking the Austin Powers.
Oh boy, man. Well, it's been real, guys.
It's been fun.
But has it been real fun?
Anyways, okay, yeah, we'll wrap up now. Okay, Colin,
Strap up.
We're gonna strap up. We're gonna wrap up and strap on here. Make sure the
Boom.
mics are off.
Boom.
Matt, Colin, thank you guys.
Thanks,
for having
dudes.
us.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.